The single expansion joint is usually considered first for any application because it offers the lowest expansion joint cost. This animation shows a typical application of the single expansion joint absorbing combined axial movement and lateral deflection. The system closely resembles the arrangement shown for axial movement only in the axial section. This animation shows an alternate arrangement in which the expansion joint is installed in the short piping leg and the principal expansion is absorbed as lateral deflection. The longer piping leg is free of compressive pressure loading and requires only an intermediate anchor and directional guiding. The functions of the directional main anchor and the pipe guide may be combined in a single device. This animation represents another approach for accommodating thermal stress encountered in the previous animation. Where the piping configuration permits, the use of tie rods adjusted to prevent axial movement frequently simplifies and reduces the cost of the installation. Because of these tie rods, the expansion joint is not capable of absorbing any axial movement other than its own thermal expansion. The thermal expansion of the piping in the shorter leg is as a result imposed as deflection on the longer piping leg. Where the longer piping leg is not sufficiently flexible and where the dimension of the shorter leg is suitable, tie rods may be installed spanning the entire short leg so that no deflection is imposed on the longer run from this source. The amount of total expansion joint deflection can be minimized by cold springing the expansion joint in the lateral direction as shown in this animation. Where appreciable amounts of lateral deflection are imposed upon the expansion joint, some shortening of the expansion joint results from the displacement of the tie rods. Care should be taken to ensure that sufficient piping flexibility exists to absorb this deflection and that adequate clearances are provided in the guide to permit deflection of the piping. The principal restriction upon the use of single expansion joints for lateral deflection or combined axial movement and lateral deflection is the limited amount of lateral deflection an expansion joint can absorb. The allowable lateral deflection is directly proportional to the ratio of convoluted length to diameter, which in turn is restricted by considerations of stability and manufacturing limitations.